in the days when we were doing long lengths of time in the Middle East, particularly Afghanistan. It's really just like, you know, you've got to wear headgear no matter what, and because the heat is just unbelievable. But when you sort of finally kind of take your hat off, I sort of thought, I was starting to think, hang on, is that my hair in the hat? And I don't know if it was or wasn't, but you know, I might have been imagining it. But yeah, during those 2 years, I lost a bit of hair there, and I started to thin out a bit. And then in the last 5 years, definitely, Tangambalanga. Actually, let's blame the. I might be able to sue the Tangambalanga. Well, it's actually the Indigo Shire. Maybe I have a shot at the Indigo Shire and say, look, since moving into your area, I have lost substantial amounts of hair, and I would like to present you with a bill for the obvious modelling possibilities that were there for me, and now are perceivably gone, and see how we go. But yeah, I don't know. Sam is a beautician, so she's always coming up with new ideas to make me look better, because she's got to put up with me. She's failing miserably, by the way. I think that's a fair comment. You saw me recently. I'm not that good looking. Oh, jeez. Over to you, Frank. Let's get, now come on. You're always going to say something nice about me.
Before you go, Frank, one thing that I've heard that you can do, Brendan, is get a pregnant cow to lick the top of your head.
You know what? We got enough cows around here. I'll just have to ask Lisa and Paul, my neighbour. Look, a very good friend of mine needs to have me have my head licked by a pregnant cow. You know what? I do that just to get a photo of their reaction.
Can I take the pictures?
Yeah, you could be the photographer.
Hey, Brendan.
Yo. It's a worry, isn't it? I don't know. I just think, I've got to be honest. I mean, I used to be a bit superficial about, you know, suits, ties, Rolexes, rubbish like that. And, you know, and the perception when you walked in a room, especially in business, was everything. And then I moved to Tangambalanga. You know what, I couldn't care less anymore. I have, like at the moment, Frank will tell you, I'm sporting this sort of, it's sort of like a bit of grey, bit of brown beard and moustache, and I'm looking a little bit scraggly. I've definitely still got the bald spot, by the way. That hasn't gone away just because I grew a beard. Sam likes it, actually. She said to me, but she also said, don't come near me sexually, you know, with that beard. That's just going to cause me too much trouble when the mind wanders. Oh God! So yeah, my sex life is pretty much non-existent at the moment. But I pretty much think that she's going to win. I'm not going to win. I'm going to be shaving very, very soon.
Hey, Brendan.
Surely you can head down the road to the nearest corner.
We've only got one of those in the entire probably 100k radius. There's only one of those. Go ahead, Rob.
I just want to know, now that you've got on the page, what signal is this Barrett and that panel we're putting out?
Oh, it's good. It's good. 5 and 9. Right on 5 and 9. Not a penny under, not a penny over. 5 and 9. Beautiful.
And the audio?
Yeah, good. I like the beep at the end too.
Yeah, look, I've got to go into the menu and turn it off. It's too much work. At least you know when I've done, I don't have to go over. What about you, Dick? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, mate, yes, it definitely sounds like a commercial two-way radio and typical audio from one of those, mate. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, look, it had a problem. It had really furry audio. It had a problem from the time I took it into Pete's place and we were using it at Pete's place. And I couldn't get rid of it. But anyway, it just seems like I've got it linked out. And of course, the problem's exaggerated because the same as the width on the back corner of the band. So, you know, the whole band is the ground plane around it. But this, anyway, I'll see. Brendan, I think, looking at my filtration meter here, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about sitting too long. I think the RSD is going to kill me in short order.
Yeah, I was having that thought pattern about that 1 kilowatt Beco amplifier. I thought if I just put a 2-meter antenna in the room that I'm using it on, run it for long enough on 100% duty cycle, look, maybe it'll stimulate brain, sort of things to start, regrouping and work. I don't know, but yeah. Actually, it's Theo VK3AP. Now he worries me because he's a very intelligent man, no question. But when you see a picture of his lineup, you've got the Beco 1000 watt amplifier for VHF. Okay, that's pretty safe. The Beco 1000 watt hubbing amp for UHF. And that's starting to be okay, better start using some very low loss connectors and, RF check the room. But then he's got the Beco 1000 watt SHF, 1.2 gig. Oh boy, that's the one you want to watch. You almost want to remote that amplifier.
Well, yeah, look at all the police. There's the police. There are the Android radios tied up to themselves. Here and abroad. Hey, listen, just going back to that moisture and all that sort of stuff in the solar reef. The difference is, if you work on this, I've done a bit of research in this to work out about solar panels and how they rate them. At the equator, on average, 1,000 watts per metre squared falls on the equator. Now, some of the problems are the moisture and the humidity is always greater around the equator. Because there's always just more sun activity with on it and there's more moisture. Moisture does affect these readings, but at the equator, it's also the shortest sun. Now, down here, squared on average to the equator. Today, I think it's 11 to 69. This is a bit of a difference. That's an extra 169 watts per square metre that's falling down here, over.
That is quite a bit. Just the station that came up said, can I drop the power? Yeah, I've just actually taken it down to about 200 watts for the moment. So if you're working close by in frequency, my apologies. But yeah, I should be right. A couple hundred watts here to the guys because they're all pretty strong to me, so that's no worries. So hopefully that's helping a bit there. I always apologise if we're sort of running 400 watts and we don't really need to be, especially in this group right now. We're all pretty well, getting good signals. There's probably no need. So I am content to do that, no problemo. But yeah, now I'm going to get it over to Frank because apart from he wants to. Possibly photographs at the top of my head. See, Frank, you know my weak points now. Every photo you take of me now, they'll always be making sure they're elevated and published. Go ahead.
Well, I'm thoroughly convinced that the lack of hair on Charlie Mike's head is directly proportional to the number of radios that he has in his shed, divided by the number of antennas that he has in his yard, multiplied by the number of amplifiers that he has in his shack. That's a good point. Absolutely nothing.
Hey, do you want to hear something? This is a true spec that comes out of police radio workshops in Adelaide. Now, if you're ready for this? Okay. Every police radio tech in ComSen, over probably a period of 15 years that I was working very closely with them, with Motorola, obviously, had girls. There was no recorded boys. Every one of them, wife would get pregnant, everyone celebrated, everyone already knew to buy all the presents in pink because that's what happened. Now, we tried to sort of work out whether or not that could actually be just real luck, just extremely lucky that, they've all been girls, or whether being around RF all day long is actually causing genetically some way that they end up having girls. I don't know, but it was an interesting statistic, eh?
I don't know what to say about that apart from if you had to work with copper's two-way radios 5 days a week, you probably wouldn't want to bring blokes into the world, would you?
Oh, Oh, look, I got to tell you, we used to have the biggest laugh. There were two people there, Mal and Kev. They were really the radio storemen as such, and of course I'd interface through them and then go meet with the other guys, you know, and catch up with them. But we used to talk about that stat so much, and you know, we'd hear, oh, so and so. Like even Milo, he's the head of Comsen. He's VK5 Papa Delta. Girls. Unbelievable. Just girls, you know. I mean, I've known him since I was a kid. Actually, we got our license together. We were both 13, I think it was. Yeah, amazing. But yeah, lovely girls though. I mean, they don't. Just so you know, they don't come out retarded because of the RF or anything. Just girls. Well, that's the point. I'm trying to remember. Look, I've known Mal since I was an apprentice, but I've got to be honest, I haven't really talked to him about these kids. That's a really good point. What's the stat there?
Well, I've heard him mention a daughter, but I've never heard him mention a son.
Yeah, well, then there's Gary. Gary's got a daughter that's serving in Afghanistan right now. The bugger was, I was in Kandahar last year. I could have met her. It's like, I'm thinking, oh, you're joking? You know, I'll probably walk past her at some stage. She's back probably in about another month, hopefully. I know Gary's really...
While before that, so I've spoken to a few times. So, good to work you on HF now, VK2ASS, VK2 AMV mobile.
Yeah, VK2AMV, yes, good to hear you, mate. As I said, I've just got this out of the box and put it on the bench and decided to give it a run. But yeah, it's good to hear you out there. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, I'm just lost for words. Just out of curiosity,
I think I'm on 7.07, 069, is that correct?
Yeah.
070 kilohertz is what the Codan sent to me here, 7070 kilohertz. To me, you sound a little bit high, but still within limits, still perfectly readable.
no worries, I'll just
Just the marker on it, and
I've had a few little issues with it. Settled down. The needle doesn't work on this lead, but that doesn't matter as long as
Dave, I'll give you a call on RCW in about 5 minutes. I just got to make a quick stop off here in Orange, and I'm getting into town now, so noise level's gone through the roof. But I just got to make a quick stop off, and as soon as I'm mobile again, in hopefully about 15 minutes or so, I'll give you a call on RCW. Over.
Yeah, right, I just on the other radio. LVK.
All good. Way to go. Power lock on. And the chances of any sort of microbic action or whatever bacteria the pilot leader hits but of course the Bay Marie is it's probably a lovely place to breathe. I looked up that DX engineering site too, and they're about 160 MA or whatever you and I both got on that. They're $300 US. So add another 25%, 400, but to get it here out of about $500, I reckon. So, anyway, I did have a look at that. Yeah, this thing with North Korea, it's interesting, isn't it? I'll believe it when I see it. Because the problem is you've got two massive egos, haven't you? You've got Trump on one end and Kim Jong, or whatever his name is, on the other, and they're both loony cans. And, you know, they're both like two little boys in the air, and we'll see who can go up the higher. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how that ends up. It'd be good for the world, it certainly would, if they'd, you know, settle down a little bit and keep them big cracks in the ground or wherever they hide them. What they reckon, millions of people would lose their lives if they got going with that lot. Yeah, I wouldn't want to live in North in South Korea, that'd be a hello, wouldn't it? Okie dokie. Andy, you're still celebrating that birthday, mate? Boy. Oh, well, good on you, mate. I think you turned 60, Andy, so that's a bit of a milestone.
Okay, now, what I was alluding to, I wonder how much pre-opening trading goes on amongst themselves.
Well, there might be a little bit, but I don't think there was too much. I think what probably happened in past years is they let everybody in no matter what, and that wasn't a good idea. But no, this year I thought they didn't open the gates until
maybe put them to call on the way back. VK48 instead. It should be not Thunderbird 001, it should be VK48 Thunderbird. VK2WB. Alternate now.
get an item sent back. You're both pretty good at that one. That's and so be it. I mean, you're looking after the rights that I mean, it's not like you're doing anything wrong. You're just asking people to, comply with what it is you've paid for. Rico 7VZ, over to you, mate.
You should always...
Yeah, well, I just thought, I'm back on the big one, as you can, and I'm making 400 watts. I just bought a Behringer, the ride here last week, a Behringer 12 volt to 48 volt phantom power thing, Anyway, you can switch it from 12 volts, because some of these phantom power mics will run on 12 volts, no problem. So you can switch it from 12 volts to 48. Well, anyway, in 12 volts, there's no voltage coming out of it, and I checked it, I put the multimeter on it, nothing, I took a photo. Anyway, on 48, there's 32 volts coming out, so there's something wrong. Now, I've got a brand new one, so I know how it should be working. So I took photos of the brand new one, making the voltage 12 and 48. Then I took the cover off, and you go, aha! He's had a shorted microphone connected on it, and you can see a couple of components that are darkened, a couple of resistors that are black, and a capacitor that's all bulged. So, you can tell it's had a problem. Anyway, I sent the guy a quick message, and I said, now, the guy's eBay account reflects the fact that he does reviews on muscle products. And when I went and reviewed that, this guy's 6 foot tall and looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heydays. So anyway, I had to be a bit diplomatic, as you are, right? More so, I guess. So I just sent him a quick message, and I said, look, mate, I've sent you some photos. This is what's going on. I pulled it out of the box. It doesn't work. I've had to go and buy a new one. Here's photos of what the voltage should be. Here's photos of what that should be. I thought I'd just, talk to you first before I go whinging and complaining like an old sook to eBay and PayPal for my money back and leave you bad, nasty feedback. I don't want to do that, mate. So what are your thoughts? And he come back and he said, that's fine, mate. I'll just refund you the money. So I took a whole new approach. I wasn't nasty, because, who knows, he might come down to Hobart. And he just sent the money back to me. And I said to him, once I saw the money in the account, I said, what do you want me to do with this? Do you want me to send it back to you? And he goes, mate, stick it in the bin. It's not working. I think that's a great attitude. I mean, look, most things that are being sent out these days, whilst they've got great freight conditions out of China, etc., we don't. So I had to send something back recently, and I thought, okay, this is their policy, and PayPal have basically informed me that I need to send it back if I want to see a refund, and I went, okay. And then PayPal sent me this email that said the PayPal people as such will be the ones who will take care of the freight. Now, it cost $59 to send back a part that cost me $45, which I could see no sense in at all. So I forwarded the cost to PayPal, and they paid it. And then a replacement part was sent out to me once they got the part that, sort of was, so then they, to me, I just thought, this system needs a bit of revising. There's some stuff here that really could use some help, because, if this was me, I'd just refund the guy. I wouldn't care about it, because I do the maths on the freight, etc. But the truth is, I don't know who pays that freight. So whether PayPal's guarantee that PayPal wears that cost within like an insurance, or whether they try to pass that cost on back to the Chinese company or not, that might be one you might be aware of, Rob. I don't know. Mate, I have no idea, I mean, I've won some battles, as you know. I've won some battles, and I've had to take a bit of a compromise, because I've realised if I push this any further, nothing's going to happen. But, I don't know. But, look, generally, I mean, I just had a look at all the stuff I've bought in, I think, the last 6 months, and, there's been 5 items in 6 months out of
many items that I've bought that there's been a bit of an issue with. I mean, the last one was the MSJ, and I'll tell you what, MSJ, waste your time talking to them. Absolute waste of time. You know, I've contacted their technical department, I tell them very briefly, but yes, I have done a reset. Yes, I have read the manual, and no, it can't get it to work. And the response was, have you done a reset? Have you read the manual? What a waste of bloody time. So now I'm taking it up. I bought it from Gigaparts. So I wrote something a little bit longer, but very precise on what is happening and what I've had to do to work around it. And I've put it... Do you think if you're a customer under these conditions, this product is up to scratch? And they've responded. And their answer is no. No, we would expect it to work as advertised. We will now contact the supplier. We will get a response from them and we'll get back to you. You know, I hope they get it. I hope being Gigaparts and that they're buying a lot of stuff from MSJ, I can only hope they respond better to them than me, because as I said to them, I said, the factory couldn't care less about me. I said, but you guys are going to get some horrible feedback relating to the sale of products that don't do what they claim to do. And unfortunately, I've dealt with you for the last 2 years, and your service has been great. But look, we've come down to this. You're selling a product that doesn't match the advertised description on your webpage. So, you know, please find out what's going on and find out what can be done, because I don't want to pay the $200 to send it back, and I don't want to pay the 15% restocking fee. VK3 Charlie Mike in the group, VK7VZ. You know what, I was, he was talking a bit, and I heard from start to finish where you started with that product and how much engineering you've had to put into it to basically, I think you can teach them now how to make it a better product, and it shouldn't be that way. I mean, the concept is that you pay the money so that life is easier for you, not the other way around. So, yeah, I wasn't overly surprised, to be honest, with the made from junk type of concept. But they do have some good products, there's no question. But some of them, yeah, I agree. Some of them are a bit borderline, and you know, they really should be taking advice. They've got to be having a closer look at. You know, it's not about just having an end product that, especially when you're at tuners. I mean, when you make broad claims like they do with that particular unit, because I looked it up and had a look at what you were saying and having a look at, you know, what results you were getting, and then having a look at what it claims to do, and but what it claims to do on paper, you shouldn't have had to do a thing. You should have been able to put any random link on that and go, oh, wacko, that's amazing, go ahead. Yeah, well, that's you know, in the lengthy thing I sent to Oxy, I've taken photos. That random wire falls well within the range. If they claim it would tune up to 32 to 1, well, I have a whole lot of 10 watt non-inductive wire round resistors here, so I played with some impedances, and I'll tell you this, Brenton, it does not tune beyond 16 to 1. It doesn't want to know. and now, I've done some quick maths. You know, I've worked out the total amount of inductance it's got, the total amount of capacitance it's got, and in an L match, what would I be able to tune? Hey, I'll be able to tune about 40 to 1. They have locked it out in firmware. They've obviously had people running 1,500 watts on 160 metres and 80 metres, and the more capacitance you run, the more relays you go through, same with the inductors, and, you know, they've obviously had some failures. So the quickest way is for them to write new firmware that limits the amount of inductance and capacitance it can run. Now, I've had a look at the claims. As long as you're above 50 ohms, it will tune up to 32 to 1. That's just pure bullshit. If you're below 50 ohms, it will go to 4 to 1, and that's spot on. But the reality is, as soon as I load something up that's 16 to 1, the tuner doesn't want to know about it anywhere. So, yeah, it's a bit of bullshit. But, you know, the 9 to 1, putting the 9 to 1 balun on it, has got me from about 4 to 1 at worst, and at best about 2 to 1. And the tuner works fine. It does everything fine. But why should I have to do that? You know, why? I don't have to do that with the ICOM. But look, the way it's working now, I've made up the vertical. The vertical is, loosely wound helical, 6 metres long. That's on top of the band. There's a 6 to 1 and, at the base of that vertical that goes directly to the tuner. I think there's a patch cord that's about 60 centimetres long, because I wanted to incorporate a coil. Now that tunes from 160 all the way out to 6 metres. I now have the ability to run 400 watts with a simple squid pole on the roof of the van. The reality is, Brenton, with that such a short run, I'd only need 5 metres of coax to get it in here. With 2 unfree and 5 metres of coax, I could have used my Vectronics 1500 watt roller inductor tuner. I don't think I would have dealt with any real losses. So I've spent $1,000 for no bloody reason, over.
That's a good reason not to spend $1,000, right?
Yeah, but I think the thing that really comes across is that, you know, the benefit for the rest of us, and, you know, I mean, you shouldn't have to pay for that, but the benefit for the rest of us is that we don't go heading down the same trail. And, you know, it's, look, I really respect people who can come out and be honest about a product. You know, there's 2 types of amateurs. There's ones like yourself, Rob, where you make it very clear that this is not something that I'm happy with, and the standard that was promised is not there. And there's another type of amateur that will come across and say, because I've got one, it must be good. And till the day they sell it, that still was the best thing that they ever had. And that's the psychology of it. They just unfortunately want to believe that they haven't wasted their money, they haven't in no way made a bad decision. And I think that the approach that you take to things is actually much better. I mean, you know me, I talk pretty straight. Sometimes you can get, you know, a little bit aggressive, you know, too fast on some areas of dealing with things. But I don't know, I think that's tempered a bit lately. There were times when I first got to know you where, oh God, you know, sort of good luck for the person on the other side. You know, so, you know, I think you've found a style that's working with talking to companies and talking to individuals. I mean, if you've been ripped off, and that's a whole different category, you know, then I think the gloves are off on situations like that for sure. But when there's situations like technical discrepancies, I think you argue it the way that you've argued it. And thinking about it, you know, you've had a couple of instances back, probably over a year ago now, where I would have been equally as mad, you know, and wanting to bloody throw the thing back at the person. But, you know, they're just, it's a funny game that we're in, whether we're professionally or, you know, just doing it as a hobby. You meet all different types of people with all different types of temperaments. But one thing I do sort of say is that, you know, always double check to allow that person hasn't maybe learned to deal with things better. Because I do find that. I find that people on amateur radio, even myself, I mean, the things that used to really stress me out, and I think, oh, Christ, you know, this is just, you know, I'm not happy, and really wind myself up. Now I just look for what is the compromise. I paid someone $500 the other day, over and above what was required of me legally, and I did it with the attitude that said, okay, I'm going to try and understand his side of the story, and I'm going to make that payment, and then I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to actually just drop it and go, right, okay, let's just get on with life. And, you know, some argue, I've had different hams say to me, look, you never should have had to have done that. And I sort of know where they're coming from, but I've also got this serenity thing that I'm trying to really bring into my life, and I can't have it both ways. You know, I have to start deciding which one I want. And I think you're getting really good at starting to decide the same thing, because now you're fighting things with technical facts. You know, there's not as much emotion in it, which is good. And as I said, I'll go better. I just don't say as much on air. Trust me. You know, sometimes I can be pretty scathing on the phone to someone. But these days, you'll find that's pretty hard to draw out of me, because hopefully I'm learning. You know, and we're all learning that, hey, we're not on the planet for a long time, so let's try and make it a good time. Even the FJPR thing today, you know, I really meant that. So, you know, when I said, John, where does this end? You know, what is it that can be done, you know, to finish this? Because that's all we want, is some finality in the problem. If the problem was to go away, we can all get back to enjoying the hobby. And you know, I think actually the way you presented yourself today with him was actually quite very adult-like. You know, I think that's been that change in you, that, you know, you've been really learning how to deal with operators a lot better than, you know, possibly, you know, 1 or 2 years ago. And mate, don't think I'm having a shot here, because trust me, I was no better. You know, there were times when I was no better. I would just think, you're such a shithead, you know, and just go, you know, to certain people that I was dealing with. And normally because they're trying to get me to, they want money out of me. You know, generally back in the days of me, you know, commercially dealing, and most people are just trying to get some money. You know, that's probably been my main thing, that, you know, I've gone, you know, and here's what I learned from it. I learned choose who you sell to and choose who you buy from. And you know, and if you do that, you've got a much better chance. Now, when you deal with a commercial company, like you did with MSJ, oh, no way, you should expect the best quality for the money you spend. It's not like you spent, you know, $149 on something. I mean, that wasn't a cheap item. So I would have expected, you know, certainly, well, and would still expect them to do more than, you know, probably what they've done so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, you got to understand what was going on last year. You know, like, I got an old man that's you know, his dad, he was getting to me. Honestly, it was getting to me, and I was pretty stressed out. You know, the relationship wasn't good. The man's dying. He's been a prick about it all. You know, and he was a prick about it to the very end. Actually, you know, I think the more he knew he was going to pass away, the more he became a bigger prick about things. So, you know, I was trying to deal with that last year, and I'd come from an environment, you know, like, honestly, I'm not a hero, and I've been smacked down many a time. There's always someone better than you, but I never had to deal this shit in the bike shop. 1 in 100 would be like a John Robinson, and, you know, you basically, you'd either tell them to F off out of the workshop and never come back, and they'd either do that with their tail between the legs, or they'd throw a swing. And the ones that throw a swing left with their tail between the legs 99.9% of the time. There was one that I bit off a bit more than I could chew, but, you know, we're talking 1 in 100. I get on amateur radio, and what I'm discovering on amateur radio, there's some, you know, look, I've had a few people, you know, pull me aside and have a little talk to me about things, and, you know, we've got people there who've spent mega dollars. Their knowledge is very limited. They've thrown up something, they've probably bought a G5RV or they've bought a dipole, they've thrown it up in the tree. They'd love to work Europe, but their location's not allowing it, the antenna height's not allowing it. They can't get town planning approval. So they've got a BMF on it. And then, you know, they hear me running around doing things that they'd like to be doing, and they hear me working Europe, you know. And I've never met these people, but they've got an opinion of me that's not very good, and they're willing to give me a hard time and mouth off for it. I was getting the shits with this Brenton. No, I've done nothing to you, mate. What are you going off at me? And you know what I'm like. I'm a bit reactive. I've been accused of being a bit coarse. Well, don't rub up against me. I mean, do you walk in, you know, do you jump the fence at the zoo, walk up to the bear with a stick and poke the bastard?
You know, because these are the people that would stupidly do that, and these are the people that would cry and scream when their bear got up and slashed them. Now, they're the same people that go to the pub with a big mouth. Someone gets up and smacks them one, they go running to the cops. You know, I've just never seen this amount. You know, I'm aware of it. It happens on Facebook. I'm aware of that. I just keep away from Facebook. Keyboard warriors. But, you know, I can't believe there's just so many of them here on ham radio. Not all, but there's more than the fair share. More than I've ever seen in the bike industry, Branson.
It's called jealousy, Rob. There's an awful lot of it in amateur radio.
More than I've ever seen. I've been in car racing and I've seen jealousy, let me tell you. I've been in bike racing, I've seen jealousy. I go into my workshop and I've had customers come in, I've seen jealousy, but nothing like what you see here on amateur radio. And it was that reason, as a young bloke, I'm a competitive guy. I'm willing to learn whatever it takes to do what I need to do. And, you know, I ran into problems with these jealous types back when I had ZZ, you know, 18-year-old with a full call that's working Europe every day. Didn't they come out of the woodwork, Trent?
Oh, look, I can well believe it, mate. Well believe it. There's some bloody jealous old bastards, and most of them are in their 70s.
Well, that just means we haven't got them for much longer.
Thank God for that.
One thing I will tell you, up here in the northeast and certainly just over the border, I've never seen anything like it. Couple out of the club. But, you know, I just decided I'm going to sell up all the hand gear because this is BS. What I was going to say, Rob, sorry, only just a short couple of seconds double with you then. But I just had a feeling. I thought I'll just click off. Just what you missed, Rob, you could be really happy about, and that is that I've been here 5 years now, and I came from Adelaide where there is not one group in Adelaide, as far as amateur radio groups, that doesn't get on, that doesn't try to assist the other group. Even the links between Mount Gambier, the Riverlands, and the groups back in Adelaide, oh, look, mate, they're extremely good. And then I moved to this place called Albury-Wodonga, and I knew very early in the piece that I'd walked into some very long-term problems as far as clubs or people not getting on, and that was a real shock for me because I'm so used to the clubs in Adelaide, and I've got to say, when you do go to South Australia, get ready to be, feel like, everybody just wants to do something to help you, because the clubs there are fantastic, and they don't go to war with each other. They don't worry about whose repeater works better, nothing like that. It's just a great bunch of people, and I, if anyone said to me, what are you homesick about? One would be my mum, yep, and that would be the big, there's a big distance between number one and number two. My mum and actually my managing director, Colleen, love her to death. She's just fantastic. So I'll put those two in the same category, because both of them actually go out and spend nights out of the pictures and things, which is great, because I love to know that my mum's being looked after. But, a very interesting second was the solidarity between ham radio groups, and I think, we really can do so much more together than we can do apart, and I look at right now here in northeast Victoria, we've got, because of no communication between a couple of groups, we've got a very big double up of 2-metre repeaters, 70-centimetre repeaters, going to be 6-metre repeaters, etc. And when you think of it, that's a lot of resource that if we all just had to work together, didn't need to happen. We didn't need to have all these double ups, but because of human nature, sometimes you just can't find any way to try and find essentially some way to make it work. And and I know Frank's seen probably more than all of us as far as being on both sides and really trying to help to try and get you know, people to see reason. Ron was another one. Ron tried very hard. And here was me. I was this new guy that's moved over from South Australia. And I said, hey, listen, I can get you the help from these clubs in South Australia to sort out some of these repeaters and blah, blah, blah. Oh, boy. Sometimes when you enter a new area, well, this is what I learned, when you come over interstate, you're probably better to stay very quiet for the first 6 months, learn a bit during that 6 months. Don't make any offers of assistance or anything. Just learn. First learn who the people are and what they or how they may react to, you know, offers of free repeaters and free cavities. And because our group in South Australia, they do. If one repeater goes down from one ham radio club, you know, the A-Reg boys will go and help the Adelaide Hills Radio Club in a split second, and vice versa, and all those sort of things. And the Elizabeth Club will run around after the South Coast Club, even though they live on the opposite ends of the spectrum of Adelaide, which, by the way, everyone says Adelaide, 20 minutes gets you from it. It's got a little longer than that now. But, you know, I think that was the culture shock for me. So, you know, and I kind of get what you're saying, Rob. I came into this really aggressive sort of environment thinking, this is all right, you know, it could be so much better. But then I witnessed what Ron tried to do, and Ron tried very, very hard. And he actually went with this. He was the vice president at the time of the club, and he said, guys, if we don't change now, and if we don't try and understand the needs of the people and try and work together, then, you know, this is just going to be a complete failure, which then he was ejected from the club. Frank tried very, very hard. He was the secretary of this particular club, and he didn't succeed. It's one of the few things that Frank succeeds at just about everything he does, but it was one of the few things I sort of went, okay, it was an impossible task. It's not so much he didn't succeed, it's just that nobody was listening. And if no one's listening, well, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. But, you know, I totally agree with you on regard. I mean, there is no other hobby that I've been involved in that has had the level of the ability to be able to talk so easily. And I think that's it too, is that, like, with our car clubs and all our different things, and as you say, with motorbikes and bits and pieces, there's no, apart from the forums, I suppose, these days on Facebook, things like that, and they can get pretty aggressive too sometimes. But, you know, really, radio is the one hobby where someone's opinion of you can change very, very fast just by what you say, and it doesn't. And sometimes it can be very misinterpreted, I think. It really can. I rang a certain chap about 2.5 years ago, and I said, look, it's obvious that you've got a problem with one of my good mates over here in this area, but you've also got a problem with me as well. Is there any chance we can sit down and have a coffee and have a talk about this? Because I just think it would be great to be able to try and resolve it. Now, at least he was honest. He said, no, I'm not at that position yet. I'm not saying I won't be in that position one day, but right now I'm not, and I don't know when I will be, but, you know, can I at least leave that as a comment that says that I'm not totally opposed to the idea as well. So, and you sort of think, well, okay, that's, I mean, never ask a question with the expectation that it's always going to be a yes. You've got to be considering that the person may say no. And I thanked him, and I said, look, I appreciate you taking my call. I appreciate the fact that, you know, you'll be thinking about it, and hopefully one day we can sit down and have a, you know, Milo, hot chocolate, whatever. But, you know, and that's how it should be. That, sorry, just turn that one off for a second. I'll put that to you, Frank, because you know, I mean, you've probably seen the hardest, you know, much more than I have. I sort of just closed off to it at one stage and thought, well, there's just no hope. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I honestly find it sad. I really do. Because it could have been very different. It could have been really, really good. I've just sent you a message on Facebook too with something that you may not know about my star as well. I've never struck an area in Australia with amateur radio that has such animosity between groups as occurs in this area. It's really, really weird. It really is. I don't really understand it. I've never understood it. If it was just between one club and another, I can understand it. But it's actually between one club and two other clubs and lots of individuals. And personally, I think it comes back to a group of 2 or 3 individuals in one particular club. And I'm not going to name anybody, because it's nobody else's business. And they really are quite simply just arrogant, narcissistic bigots. And it's as simple as that. It really is. They have this belief that they have to run amateur radio in this particular area, and anyone that challenges that is an enemy and so must be put down. And I find that really distasteful, because they lie to the membership of their club, they lie to ASIC in regards to their association. They really are an absolute piece of work. And, I really struggle with why the Wireless Institute of Australia allows that club to still remain a member of the association. I really do.
Yeah, look, it's something where hopefully, we concentrate on doing what we're doing and try and get it as right ourselves as we can, so that, we're past criticism. Don't mind positive criticism, though. That's okay. Someone comes to me and says, hey, about the other day, he said to me, running RG213 to that antenna up there at 100 feet. I said, I am for the moment, but I'm going to be using that on a 10-metre beam. I said, I just was too lazy to run the LDF 450 at the moment, because it's a complicated nightmare in the way I've got to actually trench it and run it underground. But Matt's right. Positive criticism. Can take that. I can sit there and I can go, yep, no worries. He's right. I need to run, sort of LDF, and the whole run's probably, by the time you get into the shack, it's got to be 130 feet or something. And I said to him, yeah, we'll get that done. I said, don't ask when. But yeah, so, I always think positive criticism, yeah, I can live with that. That's no worries. But you're right, there are some things that are just not beyond, well, you just can't understand why, and then no matter how much you try to delve into it and try and fix it, it's almost like you're deepening the wound. And so I suppose in some respects we just carry on doing the best we can. But yeah, it's a funny area. I've got to say, Rob, I'm going to really enjoy coming down to Tassie. The people down in Tassie are really, I think of the 7GWs and the 7DIKs and obviously 7RNs and all the different ones that are down there. There's a really good bunch of people. I've got one of my best mates down there, 7RX. Now, a lot of you probably don't really talk to Bob much, because Bob's just busy running 7HO, the TV station down there, and running about the place. He's not had a lot of time to be on radio, but he's one of my greatest mates. He's just a fabulous guy, and you sort of put together the brains that are down in Tasmania. There's a lot of stuff there. Ross ALH, and you can just keep on going on. There's quite a lot of people there that are very technology based, and if they speak, you probably do want to listen to what they've got to say, because they've probably got a bit of an ounce of knowledge about something that you may not have. When I came here, I found the technical knowledge was well, in the early days, a little bit limited. Then I started to meet a few more people, and I thought, hey, you'd be really good in a club, by the way. You know, that could really help. And that was probably something where there was a lot of old technology in Albury Wodonga in this particular area. Now, that's not true of today. I mean, and both clubs have, I want to really make that clear too, both clubs have upgraded their knowledge equally well. I think they've done, you know, a lot better. But then you get to the stage where there's the competing repeaters. Which one works better? Oh boy, you know, it's like, who cares? It doesn't matter because as far as I'm concerned, as long as it services the Albury Wodonga area and surrounding areas, that was their purpose. Both seem to do that. So great, you know, that's a pity we had to have a double off of them, but you know, that's the way it is. But oh dear, Rob, yeah, and as you can see, I mean, we're not sort of innocent of our own sins over here. You know, we haven't got it all put together 100% ourselves. I mean, we're desperately trying, but you know, we're definitely trying to, you know, get people to communicate better and to not have, you know, circumstances where there are disputes. But amateur radio just seems to be a breeding ground for disputes. And I think, oh man, sometimes I think, you know, it's a bit like fishing. I like to go back to the days when you just threw out the line and you go, oh my God, someone in South America came back to me. Because that's the real true part of why I love amateur radio. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love chatting, you know, to anybody. But, you know, if you said, what do you primarily love, 100%, and what is the thing if they took away from you, it would be, if they said to me, you now can't make a contact outside of Australia, I would be like, hang on, but that's the challenge. That's the thing that I love the most, and you know, and really take hold of, and why you put up the antennas and want this 5-acre block of land so that you can have the ability to, you know, not have someone tell you you can't do it. And because I mean, look, Sam wouldn't change. Don't get me wrong, she loves it here, but you know, we could have been living in a lot newer house than we're living in, with a lot less need to renovate. But it was my amateur radio needs, you know, and of course, this being a known spot where Mario, VK3 and I operated on 40 metres, you know, was just like, I mean, he was kicking my butt over in Adelaide, running the same antennas at times. It was just a better spot than where I was in Adelaide, it really was. So when he decided to sell it to me, I went, no. And no, not really. Mario and I get on great. But it was good to know that, you know, it was a good RF spot. I wouldn't call it a great VHF, UHF spot. I think I'm going to struggle there. I'm going to have to find little ways to duck between hills before we set up. You know, once we've got the remote site done, which is probably 5 years away, oh yeah, that might work, you know, a lot better. But until then, we'll be, if we're trying to send, like, get a signal down on, you know, what's a good example, probably 2 metres down to one of your 2 metre repeaters. I've got a feeling we can do it too, but you know, it's just going to be the right conditions, the right setup. But yeah, I mean, that's what amateur radio is to me. It's eternal search for the, you know, the contact, the thing in the noise that you think you can't work, you know. And someone said to me on Facebook the other day, you should be thinking about moon mounts on 2 metres. And I thought, hey, there's a challenge. I've never looked at it. And you know, once again, there's hundreds of possibilities in ham radio that you can just really, really enjoy. VK7VZ, VK3 Charlie Mike for the group.
Yeah, okay. Yep. No, well, look, it's like this, mate. You know, in the bike world, you got all types, and you got some hotheads. But the thing is, they're in front of you, you know. And there's a lot of talking behind the background, and I never tolerated that. If there was some rumours getting around, you know, somebody told me about it, and we'd be out at the track, I'd go, come with me for a second. And they come with me. And I'd stand there in front of the person, and I'd say, hey, you know me, I always confront people about rumours, and they go, yeah. I said, apparently you had one of my customers' mates in there at your workshop, and you were telling him I'm full of shit and I wouldn't know what I was doing. Oh, no way, mate. No, I wouldn't do that. I said, are you sure? Yeah. I said, this is the mate of his. You don't remember him? And he'd look, and you'd see the face drop. I said, because he was there too. He heard you say it. I said, now, have you got a problem or something? Is there a problem that we need to discuss? I said, or better yet, do we need to walk over there away from prying eyes and we need to sort this problem out? Is there a problem? And, you know, this guy was much bigger than me, taller than me, and came from a much rougher background than me. And, you know, it was good to see, you know, have others around me at the time see this guy turn into a big pussy. And this is the problem with amateur radio. You can key up the microphone and say whatever you want. And you're inclined to say, well, not me personally, I'll say it here, I'll say it in front of you. But people are inclined to be bigger and have a bigger mouth here on amateur radio because they think they're hiding somewhere. You know, having a PO box as your address in ACMA, you know, that sort of deal. Gives you this feeling that you can say what you want to who you want and offend as many as you want because they won't find you. But, you know, when you let that person know, oh, this is your address and I'm going to come over and see if we can sort this out, it all goes to water. I'm learning this, Brenton, that if I took the effort and time to track down a certain bunch of individuals and turn up on their door, they're going to go to water when I get there. It's not going to be the hassle. So it's probably dawned on me, you know, don't let it bother you so much. The more they carry on, the more their life is so boring. I mean, what's really got me with old mate at Newcastle is I can't get on and do the afternoon DX because he's there causing a problem. I can't get up early and do the morning DX on 40 because he's there causing a problem. And I have a lot of people that I like to catch up with, DF2PO, you know, OS, OH, you know, Ben, there's a lot of them I want to catch up with on 40. But how can I do that if this guy's been a dick all the time? Now, he's not strong enough every day. But, you know, I mean, there's still a small part of me, Brenton, that wants to go up there and grab this sucker by the neck. But there's also a wise part of it that says, this guy's a loose cannon. He's probably going to pull a gun on you, and you probably wouldn't think twice to shoot you because he's a dickhead. So, you know, I know his address. I know how to get there. You know, everyone's come to the party on this one. He's not hiding. He's easily found. But, I don't know. I'd probably have to confront him with a baseball bat, Brendan, and the drama is then I'm probably going to go to jail for a period of time for beating the snot out of him. You know, that's the problem, you know, because I can't hide the fact that I've turned up there, approached him with a baseball bat and beaten the shit out of him, you know. I couldn't swing that in any way that a judge is going to believe. But I'm starting to realise, you know, like, half of these people with the problem. I had a problem with a guy in Canberra. I don't know what he did, but he mouthed off, you know. And it was quite obvious when I had a look at his QRZ page. He's got a wire dipole antenna and he's sitting in front of a $16,000 radio, a SPE 2KFA, and he's got a real smug look on his face. But the reality is, he's pissed off because I'm working the DX and he isn't, over.
There's a lot of that, and it's something that you kind of just dismiss it, and you know, I've listened to a few people, one I'll name, because I think something happened recently to him that I thought was really unfair. Jim was on 7125 on AM, and he was talking to some guys who were using some very old equipment, and number one, you know, that equipment wouldn't have the filtering, and number two, it's fixed frequency stuff. And and the other chap, I'll keep his name out of it, but the chap that was 3 kcs up, actually, he was only a couple of kcs up, actually. There was obviously, you know, no way that the AM contacts were going to be made without a lot of interference from someone, you know, so close. And what Jim asked is, look, could I just get you to move up? And I actually heard him say it. He said it very politely. Could I just get you to move up 3 kcs? I reckon we'll be clear of each other perfectly then. And the comment came back to him at the time that, you know, surely you people with your $15,000 radios can use all your expensive controls basically to notch out or, you know, use the passband to to do that. And Jim said, well, look, that may be true of my equipment, but it won't be true of that of which the people I'm trying to talk to. And then Jim sort of said, look, the decision is going to be up to you whether or not you choose to move up. He wasn't going to sit there and keep on discussing the subject because his brain had already worked out, you're either going to do this or you're not, But he was in the mindset that said, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it for half an hour. And he did. He went clear from the 2 KCs up and said, look, the other person had a little bit more to say, and then they moved up the 3 KCs, which I think, that was a long-winded way to finally get a solution. But I thought at the time, probably Jim's smartest move that I saw him do was to say, look, hey, I've explained to you what the situation is. The ball's in your court as to what you do. But if you don't move, look, we'll just have to shut down communications because we won't be able to communicate, and very straightforward facts, no threats. Jim didn't threaten the person in any way, shape or form. He just said, he made it clear that, hey, we're all just trying to enjoy the hobby. And I learned a lot out of that. I really did, because there are times when we get a little bit close in frequency to each other, and I can tell you, after watching what happened with Jim, I thought, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I'm the first one to move, or to, just before someone came up and said, can you just drop the power back a bit? Yep, I can, no problems. I could hear where they were transmitting, and they're very, very strong to me here. And so me going back to a couple hundred watts, I didn't get another complaint, but I think, sorted it out, which was great. But I think that's the sort of hams we've got to start becoming, is we've got to start considering what, even if it does sound a bit ludicrous, what does it hurt to move a few KCs, or, to just kind of maybe give someone another opportunity to do something that really is not going to cost us anything. But there are some interesting individuals at times that I know what you're saying, Rob. You can't put a word right. No matter what, you could come back and say yes to everything they're saying, and there'll still be them wanting to have the last word on the fact that you were wrong. You think, okay, I don't know what you do with those individuals. They're just ones I think best avoided. Bob 7RX, I got swindled on a deal back in, it was before I moved over here, I think. Just about sure it was. So it's got to be 6-7 years ago. And Bob rang me and he said, I'm out front of the place for the guy who's got all the Euro equipment that, didn't end up doing what he said he'd do. And I said, oh, mate, no, look, seriously, be careful, because you just never know who's behind that door, and you never know. He just said, I'm not even listening, click. Anyway, the next thing I get a phone call of, right, I've got all your gear on board, and I just want to double check with you, I've got it all. And I said, actually, look, close enough. He said, no, what am I missing? And anyway, here he goes the second time, said, sorry, we're missing this. Got that back for me, sent it back in a box for me. But the truth is, I wouldn't want Bob to do that twice. Bob was in that particular town because of his work, and he just thought, I'm going to try and help Brenton. But the amount of things that can go wrong, because, look, I've lived next door to a country farmer back in South Australia that you wouldn't want to knock on his door anything after dark, because I can see now he'll come out with a shotgun every time, because he doesn't get a lot of visitors after dark. I made a practice even myself. I didn't visit after dark. If I had to, I'd ring him first and say, listen, put your shotgun down. I'm just coming down for a minute. I'm going to jump on the Harley and just come down the road for a tick. And the reason I did take the Harley is because he'd know it's me. Any other car he might not. But there's a lot of stuff that can happen sometimes. And this is just escalation. This is a problem with us as human beings. Is sometimes situations escalate way past where they should be. Even yourself, you couldn't possibly see that it could have gone to the level that it has, and you think, oh boy. But no, Rob, I think you're doing really well. Honestly, I've always been pretty straight with you on stuff. I I know you haven't been sure of that sometimes, but the truth is, I've generally told you what's on my mind, and, I remember the time when I said to you about, look, I don't really want to sell you a TL922, and the reason was that I think I remember saying something along the lines of, it's going to need to have a lifetime warranty, and that was a pretty facetious thing for me to say, but I'd just come off the back of, I think it was three claims of products that didn't make it to various people around Australia straight, that I thought, oh, come off it, really? I really had a bit of a bad patch. So I understand what it means to have a bit of a time in your life where you think, all right, yeah, could have done that better, absolutely. And look, I think we're all learning and approaching things differently as time goes along, and differently, by differently I mean better. And I've starting to learn to really encapsulate and enjoy people's positives, like with Frank right now. Look, I sat down with Frank the other day, Thursday, and he sat there and taught me quite a lot more. Everyone thinks I'm a DMR expert for some reason. They're wrong. I'm a DMR user who's picked up a couple of points, but Frank is a DMR, slowly becoming, I think, an expert. I think he's got some really great ideas, and if you saw some of the stuff that he's doing, and some of the, I can't reveal them to you because I'll let Frank, I'll put it over to Frank the expert, and if he wants to talk about it, that's great. But here is an amateur that's taking probably a thing that is very hot and cold. You either want to get involved and have a play with DMR or you don't. But if you do, there's all these ideas that Frank's got that I think are just amazing. And he's the guy sitting at home thinking, I wonder if anyone would like this, because so he builds it. And then I got to see on Thursday what Frank's built. And I'm like going, oh, I want one of those, that's brilliant, that's good. And, and these are things that, to him, he's just toying around with. But what he's got are items that could be commercialised so easily. And that's the sort of product of which we all should be enjoying, is that everyone should be trying to help everyone to be more successful. And by the way, it's not a crime to make a small margin on a product either. I don't expect that Frank should make a product and then sell it for cost. I think that, to keep his own R&D development going. Actually, I originally insisted on that with Frank. I said, look, no. When he was talking about some prices, I just said, no, look, the market can stand a lot more than that, and it's still a bargain. And anyway, I won't speak to the products. I'll put it over to Frank. Frank, you can speak to what you've been up to the limit of what you feel prepared, you can say. But I want to say to you, I was blown away. This was just amazing, some of the stuff. And also, Frank was very patient with me the other day. I had a bit of a problem, and he said, look, let me teach you the process. Instead of me fixing it, let me teach you the process of how to fix it, so that next time you'll know exactly where to go. And there was a next time, a few hours later, and I was able to report back to Frank, hey, I did it, and that was good, because, but that's a man that's willing to share knowledge and to, I'm sort of insisting that he doesn't share too much knowledge, by the way. There are certain things I think come under proprietary, but I've got to tell you, that VK2 PSD has a little bit more to him and computer programming than people give him credit for. Over to you, Frank.
Can I just grab it quickly, Frank? Yeah, go on, mate. All right. Now, listen, Brenton, I never got back to you over this, but I had someone in my ear telling me a story very similar to what you just said, and that is you didn't want to renege from selling me the 922 because you didn't want to be hassled by me if something ever went wrong. Now, let's just go back to that for a second. I was coming up to buy the 922, but due to me having issues with the generator, I wasn't going to have the money in time. So I rang you. We've even got an email and a text message exchange over this. So I rang you to say, Brenton, can we stall this for another month? Because I need to be here to put some money away. This generator's cost me a fortune. And you said, oh, no, mate. I need the space. I need this to go. I can't wait another month. And I thought, okay, I won't go into this now. I'll let it ride. And we continued this on an email where I said to you, listen, mate, you know what? I've got an offer to buy an SWL1K expert. So how about this? You find, because you were telling me that you had buyers lined up to take it and you really need it to go now and you need the room. And I could not get there in that time frame. I had to rebook the boat for a month later. So I said to you, look, to save all this problem, sell the amp to the next available guy, and then I went and got the SWL1K. So I heard a rumour about this, and I was going to take it to you in full attack mode because I had emails, text messages that confirmed what actually happened. And I thought, no, I won't. I did send that person who got back to me and told me that story, that, oh no, Brenton said he didn't want to sell it to you because he didn't want to give you a lifetime warranty. But just to pull you up on that, Brenton, I think we came to the deal was you wanted me to take it now, and I couldn't get there for a month. So I actually said to you, and it's either email or text message, no worries, mate, let the person who wants it have it, because I'm not going to be able to get there. I can't come up with the cash for another month. Now, I heard that rumour, and oh man, I saw red. I was going to, I was going to drive up there and knock on your door and go, what the hell are you telling people? Because it didn't go down. You did not sell it to me because it had to have a lifetime warranty. You didn't want to wait the extra month. Now, that's how you told it to me, and I said no worries. But if you said no, I have to sell it now, was your way of saying, thank God I don't want to sell it to Robert because I don't want to have to give him a lifetime warranty, so be it. But that's not how I remember it going down, Brenton.
No, that's a fair comment. And at the time, we had, the extreme, we had about 9 units right at the, the peak of it all. By the time we'd you and I had got to start to talk about it, we were down to 4 or 5, I reckon. But I'd had placements for units to South Australia, Sydney. That one that went to Sydney got destroyed, by the way. That was it's an enormous mess, and it was a huge problem. And the fact that we had packed that one. Actually, the only good news about that story is that we'd done such a long YouTube video. It was lapsed over 2 hours, time lapsed. But the courier company really, when they said to my mate that it was badly packed, well, yeah, they didn't really get away with that. But in the, I suppose both versions of the story are true. If I was to be perfectly honest, I'd seen you have a few dealings with a couple of my customers, and they hadn't ended very well. One did in the end, but they certainly were ones where I'd kind of the red flags. You're right; they were coming up a bit for me as somebody that it was saying, look. In a mobile home, a TL922, is this a good idea? Is it likely to be smart to try and run inverters? Lots of things. But the thing that was worrying me more was the fact that, exactly what you're saying, that this will come back to bite me. This is a sale that doesn't make a lot of sense. Did I want to get rid of them? Yes, absolutely, no question. We don't need, especially equipment that's 20, 30 years old. It's either doing one of two things here. It's either staying because I'm going to put up with the pain and restore it, or maybe it's working fine and hopefully it'll stay working fine. Or I'd realised that we'd become very overstocked and we had about probably 30 grand worth of stuff that didn't need to be here, and I ran a stack of VK Ham adverts just going, right, okay, those amps actually varied quite a bit in price depending on the condition of the amp as such. But there was a fear there for me that I felt that this one's going to bite me, and when I said to you, look, I want to get him out of here, probably, would have been fairer to say to you, hey, look, I'm also a bit fearful of the fact that, if this goes wrong, I'm probably going to, I don't think you were going to come to me and say, look, mate, it's 30 years old. These things do happen after, a few months, etc. And just so you know, that $500 I paid out to a Tasmanian just recently, that was on top of the refund that I gave him. And that was just to not have that type of situation where somebody was angry and deciding to just, to carry on. And I didn't want an argument with that guy. And I just simply, I suppose it doesn't sound very good, but I gave in. I just gave in and said, look, here's the extra $500 that you're claiming. And rolled over, but there's only so many times you can do that, and that's the thing is that I started to, in the last 12 to 18 months, I've started to really refine what I want to sell and more importantly, how I want to ship it. That's probably one of the best things I've learned, is that I've got a whole lot of things now that no, I won't ship it. It's just not going to happen. But I mean, what you're saying is fair, Rob. At the time, we weren't in a really good place. We were sort of in a spot where there were things that we just, I suppose, maybe we didn't trust each other, I'm not sure. It was certainly a tenuous time, and a little bit like yourself, I think maybe, just to draw the picture, I was stuck in bed for months, and then I was sort of starting to get a bit of mobility back, but still frustrated by the fact that, there was just, 16 months of my life got kind of blotted out because you probably picked up on this, but I'm pretty hyperactive. So when suddenly you're kind of restricted to do nothing, trust me, you make a lot of bad decisions, and you're sort of doing the best you can with the facilities you've got and, faculties more such, but you do make mistakes, and I still think a TL922 would have been a bad idea for you. And solid state amps was definitely the way to go on the motorhome. And I still believe that at some stage, if I'd sold you that TL922, it would have ended badly. I truly believe that. I probably could have given you the best one, but in the situation of sort of them being such an old amplifier, etc. Yeah, and look, to show you that I do sort of try and do the right thing. That last situation down in Tassie, I basically paid that $500, which a number of people have said, look, you really shouldn't have had to have paid that, but I did because it was the only way that I was going to get somebody to ramp down, because it certainly ramped up fairly high. He had, and as you get older, you don't want to deal with people that are ramping up all the time, and this, sort of, see, I've got to say, the person that I'm talking to now is not the person that I was talking to 12 months ago, and that's sort of where that allowance for change comes in. I mean, I don't just mean on one side. I think both of us have changed dramatically. There's some areas of my life where, they needed changing, and I needed to let go of some of the pressures that were on me. If I was to tell you every company interest, business problem, blah, 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 that was hitting me on a daily basis, you sort of go, well, hey, that's your choice. And you're right, it was my choice. But, I've chosen to, as of December, to drop so many things, it's just not funny. Do I earn anything close to what I used to earn? Nah, not even close. I was only joking with Sam the other day. I think you're the new breadwinner, but mentally, I feel a lot better. I just know that I'm suffering a lot less anxiety over things, because I am the sort of person that does want to get it right for you. No question, I want to try and get it right for you, but the best of plans sometimes don't always work out. So I suppose what I'm saying to you in essence of that situation is you're right. But the easy way to get out of that story, and it wasn't that I didn't have buyers, I did have buyers, but that was the kind way of saying, that I didn't want to sell it to you because I was concerned. and mainly over that situation, one of the guys down in the lower part of Victoria. And see, I've known him a lot of years. But you know what? You worked that one out with him, which was great. And then when you did, I thought, oh, okay, well, that's the real positive. And maybe I overreacted, so I don't know. I mean, we never get to take a second shot at these things, I suppose. We can only judge on the day how bad we did something or how good we did it. Possibly it showed some poor form by myself. You get used to in business, and this is something we get trained in Motorola, in telling people the truth that suits the best. Now, I don't know if that makes any sense, but if I was to tell some of my state government clients why certain things haven't happened at times and tell them the truth right down to the last nitty-gritty bit, we'd probably lose the contract. So we would find the bit that worked that was still the truth, but possibly didn't, finish off with all the details as such. And I've been trained to do that, and it's one of the things I'm trying to untrain myself from, because as I'm doing less and less business and doing less and less trading, I'm finding that there was Frank's aware of something I gave away the other day to somebody because I felt that his situation warranted some help, and I mean, it wasn't a huge value. I don't know, Frank, what do you reckon? $100 and something or something, I don't know. But the thing is that I wanted the person to know that I recognised this situation and I wanted to be as generous as I could. I'd love to be able to do that more, actually, in some respects. There's a lot of satisfaction in helping people. But as I said, I think you and I are in a very different place now, and that's something that, I don't say bad words about Rob. If someone was to ask me, is Rob volatile? I would say he can be. That would be my answer. He can be, but he's less volatile than he's ever been. He's actually starting to really, not bother with stuff that's not worth bothering with. And that would be my truthful answer. It's something that I don't know whether you'd like that answer or not. But trust me, I get the same thing. You have no idea the amount of criticism as somebody that's dealt in radios for, 30 plus years, 40 maybe. People either love you or hate you, mate. It's really one of those things. There's a few that stand in the middle, but generally, they're either busy criticising you or busy praising you. And the only part that hurts me sometimes is the ones where they get it right, where they actually are right, where I think, geez, that last situation, let me tell you, the one with the one where I paid out $500, I still believe that, I've just done that just to finalise the situation. I don't feel like I've done it because it deserved to be done. It was just the most, I think, the easiest way to fix it, so that everybody gets a prize. Maybe I didn't get a prize on that one to some extent, but, look, maybe I did in the fact that there were, a lot of misunderstandings with this guy, and, we get that sort of stuff. But, yeah, mate, look, I apologise if I didn't sort of be forthright and say, hey, listen, apart from the fact they got buyers, and I want to get these bloody things out of here, I'm a little afraid I'm giving you a lifetime warranty, and I will confess to you that is what was on my mind, but you got the half truth, and not the whole truth. And at the time, I was probably in a bit of a different space. I've got to tell you, having my foot back and being able to walk again, you have no idea. It is such a, even to go out today and drive and say, right, I don't need to ask Sam what's she doing and where's it fit with her calendar, because that's what it's been for 16 months. And I'm one of the fortunate ones who can still, walk. No prosthetic needed, no, and hopefully if it all keeps going well, it's great. but it's been a long road, and I think you've been on the same journey. It's been a long road for you too. I mean, it's, no one wants to suggest that, that somehow you're, because you're travelling around the countryside, that you avoided problems. Everyone has problems, there's no question. But mate, listen, I do apologise that possibly I should have been a little bit more forthright on that one. That's something that I'm learning to do it a lot better at the moment, actually. Even the fact that I'm telling you everything I'm telling you right now is kind of this part of me that wants to be who I am. I'm enjoying the new non-commercial Brenton, if that makes any sense. And some people would suggest, it's because you don't need the money. Well, I don't know. I hope that's not the reason, because I like to think it's because I'm learning. I'm going through a cycle of learning how better to deal with situations. Anyway, put it back to you. It's probably the longest over I've ever had in history, but it's sort of something I want you to understand where I was at, but also that I also see that there were things done wrong by me too.
Yeah, VK5VUC there, Brad.
VK5WW.
Okay, just a couple of the call signs. VK3 Charlie Mike to VK7VZ.
VK2 BFC.
Go, Frank.
VK5VST.
Oh, God. You see what you did, Brenton? You dragged the band police in. The geriatric band police have arrived now. Oh, dear, oh, dear. You want to bet one? VK2, Bravo Fox Charlie. Operating from Albury, New South Wales on a Fox Tango 950 into a half-wave dipole running 99.93 watts. There you go, Mr. Band Police, okay? Now on your bike. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me. He's probably up the top of a mountain with an FT817 or something trying to talk to somebody in Victoria. But never mind, Brenton. Yeah, very good. Over to you, Rob.
There you go, see? The volatile. I'm just like everybody else, you rub against me, I can be abrasive. I never go out of my way to attack anybody that hasn't come at me, and I'm learning not to be so reactive. But look, Brenton, you once sent me a text message that said, sometimes I don't know how to take you, Rob. Honesty. Just come right out and say it. Mate, I don't want to sell you an amp because, you're a bit of a hothead and this might go off. Now, that will probably piss me off for a split second or two, or probably half an hour. But I'll think about that and I'll think, okay. I mean, look, it turned out for the best. There's no problems there. But know this, Brenton. The SPE, what I was told was wrong with it, and what ended up being a few problems with it, was totally different. Now, I never went off at the guy. He's still a mate. I had to pull it apart. I had to fix things. It's just how it is. I don't do that to mates unless I start hearing things. Now, look, there's one person, not two. I don't know who the second customer is. There's one person. And, we really got to get the story right here. The man, when I turned up because he was going to post the parcel, now I have to go to his house. You know the story. I told you the story. I tried for a week to go to his house. No, not good enough. I'll post it to you. He just effed me around, Brenton. And then when I turned up there, because that's what he wanted me to turn up. He couldn't even be bothered getting to the bloody post office, nor was he going anywhere like the big bullshit story he had. When I get there, he can't give me back the $50 I gave him for the postage fee, because he doesn't have the money on him. And all the problems, I called you. I said, Brenton, what do you know about this guy? And you told me this guy's been a bit of a problem in the past. You wouldn't sell to this guy. Look, all I wanted was my $60 back. He kept stalling, he kept carrying on. And then he threatened me. He made some threats. I've got him in a bloody text message, and I'm sure I forwarded them to you. So when he did that, I called him.
And he mouthed off a fair bit, Brenton, and I told him, that's okay, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put my foot so far in your mouth that you're going to have it surgically removed from your arse. And I'm sure he told you about this, because you brokered a deal with him to calm things down. Now, he threatened me, Brenton, because he didn't want to give me the $60 back. Who the second customer is? I can't recall, because there's only been, well, there was the problem with that have gone to RM Italy. I've got full reports on the body work that's being done, and if that person ever carries on, I'm quite happy to make those reports from RM Italy out there. There's a transistor in that amp that should never have been put in it. That's number one. And the other one, relays open circuit on the 10-metre band, Dicky and open, never touched, you know. I had my rights to go up there. What you don't hear, Brenton, is you hear only what you want to hear from the other person. And you started to conclude Rob's a hothead and a bit of a problem. No, Rob's not a bit of a problem. When I wait 3 months for an arsehole to repair 2 amplifiers, one dies in the first 5 minutes of use, and then I get nothing but lip service on the phone from this guy, you know. Anyway, I got the reports, very interesting report, and I think the Italian man said the guy who worked on this has no idea what he's doing. So that was the final report. One is a total write-off, and the other one is going to cost more than it's worth to getting repaired. So they're in a limbo status at the moment. And I don't know. I've got to get back to them and say, do whatever you would like to do with them, because I'm not going to pay you $300 more with shipping and repairs to build me 1 amp out of those 2 amps. I can just go online and buy it. But send me a text message and an email who this second customer is, because I had the problem down there in Victoria with a guy who sold me the amp and it didn't work. I had the problem on the way down to Victoria with your mate, and the only other problem I've had is with that Tasmanian service tech that's not really a tech. He actually told me he's not a tech. Now, I told you this, but obviously, when I started telling you this, you've just gone, oh, okay, and you've formed your own opinion, and that's fine. But, man, I was coming to you and saying how it was. I don't know. What can I do? I mean, to me, you just be upfront and honest with someone, and, you know, people don't like my honesty. If I've got a problem with you, I come up and go, hey, man, I've got a problem with you. What the hell's going on? And people don't like that, because that's confrontational. You know, when somebody's carrying on behind your back, and I'm not saying you here, but when I'm saying when somebody's carrying on behind your back, and you approach them, oh, they don't like that, you know. I don't know. Anyway, I've been accused of being very abrasive, and my thing to that is, then don't rub me the wrong way, you know, like, why go out of your way to piss me off?
You know, one of the things that I've been sort of working on, and by the way, that picture of your hometown thing looks good. It's an incredible view. You know, it's a conflict resolution area of ham radio, and the conclusions I've come to is that sometimes you're actually on the ball with the fact that it's probably easier just to good on you. So I was going to message you then. Sometimes I think that, you know, it's definitely it's easier to try and find the quickest conflict resolution versus the one where, you know, it just seems to go on forever. And no, I think we're talking about the same guy, by the way. That if that was the one that was fly in, fly out, maybe that will ring some bells. So that we may actually be talking about the same circumstance. And I'm not so sure that I actually brokered the piece there. I think he just saw sense in the end. To be very honest, I don't want to take credit for something too much here, but that's my whole point, is that, you know, we really need to get to the stage where things are fixed easier rather than, you know, done the hard way. I mean, I understand, you know, I mean, that abrasive side that you're talking about, I reckon it takes a little more these days to get that out of you than it did, say, 12, 18 months ago, which that's a pretty positive thing when you think about it. So that means that, you're not sort of going off at every sort of second nutcase that comes along and tries to do, if I told you how many times I've been scammed on VK Ham or eBay, or I just haven't got the time and energy to chase people. Look, I've got an FT2000 sitting here at the moment that cost me an awful lot of money, and what the guys sent me, by the way, it got sent on December 6th and arrived here just the other day. Now that bit, he's not responsible for. That bit I can definitely say he's not responsible for. That was the freight company. I'd written it off. I had actually written it off as lost in freight. Anyway, when I finally get it, I think, oh, thank Christ, this thing's here. And guess what? The cases are beautiful. Then I noticed the cases are beautiful, but they're missing most of the screws. Anyway, I look at the front panel, and I thought, oh, it's just got one mark. I got me a little spray and wipe, and I thought, no, it doesn't. Beautiful. So it's got a beautiful front panel. But I'm still sitting there thinking, why are most of the screws missing? And I'm like, okay. Anyway, dead display. Sorry, not dead, floating display. So, it's just sitting there going everywhere. And a very intermittent TX, RX, where sometimes you can get it, to go and blah, blah, blah. Now, there was no way that I could go back to somebody on December 6th, no matter how dodgy the thing was, but I've received this thing in March, because he's going to blame everyone. Like, no matter what, it'll be Pack and Send who took the screws out of it, and it'll be some guy from Border Transport that must have dropped it 6 times why the display doesn't work, and so, no point in chasing it. It's just a done deal. But you've got to question it sometimes and say, well, had that thing turned up 3 days after, let's say, would that person have responded in any way, shape or form in a positive way, or would he have just said, hey, listen, it's yours, you bought it, bad luck, and I'm going with the latter. I think that a person that misrepresents something and sells it to you is probably just going to be a pain. So, yes, that is true. Sometimes they write off a lot of money and don't go to any sort of form of recovery because it's the truth is because, one, it cost me too much to go chasing it, and I've been involved in enough high-level legals over the years to know what they cost. So, I've just got to the stage where I sort of put a little asterisk next to that name and go, probably don't buy anything from him again. Now, he was a bit of a gamble to start with. That was a Gumtree buy, and, I knew very little about the person, so I took a real gamble because I wanted one of those white FT107s so I could match up with Jeff, the 7GW, had sent me over this beautiful brand new 107 external VFO, and I thought, oh man, all I need is the speaker and a couple of things, and this is going to be good. So, my new goal is to get that 107 going. For the money I paid for it, I shouldn't have to. Trust me, it was in the high hundreds. It certainly wasn't low. And it's, another one of those ones where you sit there and go, well, in all relativity, what are the chances of me actually getting a, I wouldn't want a refund. So there's the first problem. So let's say he said, I'll refund you. I'd be like, no, actually, I want to keep this and try and get it going. So straight away there, if he said, if he fully offered to refund me, then, I probably am without too many grounds, sort of if I decide to say, no, I'm going to keep it and fix it. But as we found out, I tried to fully refund someone recently down in Tassie, and that cost me an extra $500 on top of the price of the refund to find, that middle ground. Now, you tell me, Rob, and just being, honest, this is not how you would act with those two people. I know that you would be a lot more proactive in trying to get them to take some responsibility for their actions. And so that's more of a difference in temperament versus anything. It's just, and maybe I've just learnt a little bit more in business over the years to know when I'm in a checkmate situation, and you've got a lot more time than me, and so I've watched you argue things which I've thought you've got Buckley's chance of winning, and you've won them. And I thought, bloody hell, you know, but the truth is, I just wouldn't have the time, especially if you talk in the last 12 to 18 months when we've been, you know, trying to broker the final sale of our Malaysian company. We've been doing, you know, sort of